Hello and welcome to the We Recommend podcast, a movie podcast where every week we recommend a movie for you to watch and then come back here and listen to us discuss. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Jason. What are you going to do?
What I do best, I'm going to kill him, anyone that was involved, anybody who profited from it, anybody who opens their eyes at me.
Kill them all.
Because this week we recommend Man on Fire. So this was my first time watching it.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Jason, for telling us that we should watch it, because this movie goes.
I know, it's so entertaining. I love it.
It's like the first time I watched a nearly 3-hour-long movie and been like, yeah, I didn't want him to cut anything. And I'm Mr. Cut your movie down as short as possible.
I know, it moves so, it just has a great pace.
Yeah. I remember, so right before she gets kidnapped, I paused it and I was like, man, I bet that was only like 20, 30 minutes. And I was like, that was like an hour of the movie? I was like, no wonder. Because I was like so happy and I was like, oh, nothing bad's going to happen.
Well, yeah, like with Dakota Fanning is such a sweet, like their relationship building is great.
Yeah. And then you're just like, you love watching Denzel. Whatever Denzel's doing, I'm watching it.
It's like, I was thinking, it's kind of like don't feed your mogwai after night. Don't let Creasy fall in love with anyone.
Yeah, because they're gone. They have no shot.
And lots of people are going to die.
So I was like, Lisa's definitely going to end up dying at some point because they obviously want to have sex. Interesting fact, there's 2 sex scenes in this movie that were cut.
Oh, wow.
Lisa and her husband and Lisa and Denzel.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like the scene when she goes in to talk to.
Yeah. After he tells.
Well, he's like tutoring the daughter in like the bedroom, and then she comes in. I'm like, dude, she's horny, bro. She's wearing like a crazy outfit.
She loves when people protect her daughter.
Yeah.
She loves it.
Yes. Let's actually talk about Lisa, who is played by, what's her name? Radha Mitchell. What was her accent? Was she
Southern?
British? Was she British or Southern?
I think she was Southern.
That British accent came out quite often. I have no idea if she's British, but it almost sounded British a couple times.
I don't know.
Every time she talked, I was like, dude, like, I don't know. Like, just be normal. Just be a normal, like, whatever voice you do, just do that
pick one and go with it.
Yeah. It's like, if you're, like, she didn't have to be American. She could have just been British in this or something.
Yeah. She literally could have been anything, but she's like, I got to do it all.
But her husband's like in the automotive business and like they have to go to like Michigan and stuff. And I was like, well, just make her sound Northern. I feel like it's an easier accent for this lady, maybe. Not working the Southern accent for sure. That was probably actually the only part of the movie I was like, what are we doing with her?
Mine with her was whenever Creasy, or is it Creasy or Creasy? Creasy. Whenever he shows up to meet her for the first time, and it's like their second bodyguard that they've had, and then she doesn't really ask him any questions about his life.
They go right past that one.
She's like, you're an American? Good enough.
Yeah. And then like pours him a drink and it's like, hey, do you want a drink? And then he drinks it in one gulp. I'm like, hey, that means he's an alcoholic, by the way, because people usually don't drink whiskey, a full glass of whiskey in one gulp.
Whiskey and water.
Oh, is that what it was?
To be fair.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like I can't believe how like effective this movie is, because it's smart that it spends like the first 40 to an hour building the relationship, right? You learn the characters, you build the relationship, you feel like the husband's a little sketchy. The mother just seems like la 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 la. And then even like watching them swim, and then all of a sudden all the like help around the house, they're all there
cheering for
with
her.
them cheering, and I'm like, let's go. Yeah. And then you take her to the swimming pool, and the nun teacher lady's like, you're a father now. And I'm like, God dang it. And then it's like Denzel, Dakota Fanning, Christopher Walken and his wife, they're all just like having a good time at the table, and she gives them the necklace, and I'm like, no. No.
They're too close.
It's over. Now, this is the best, like most happiest point you'll be during this movie. There's no way. It's like, the next scene's just going to suck. Yeah. It's the same like with romantic comedies where you're like, everything's perfect and happy. I love it. And it's like, crap. It's a romantic comedy. They're going to break up and it's going to be bad and I'm going to feel bad for 10 to 20 minutes. But with a movie like this, you get the point where, now we get like an hour of ruthless bloodlust.
Yes.
And just seeing him be awesome.
Yeah, I know. What was your favorite death? Because mine was the butt thing.
Oh, dude.
The butt grenade.
Like, is there any other death in the movie?
Yeah, a couple.
It's the only death that matters. I was like, I thought it was going to be one of those things where he is just going to like let the timer go out and then just shoots him, or like backs his car out onto like the freeway and it falls on him.
Oh yeah.
But I thought the whole timer thing was just going to be like a decoy, and then he walks off and it's the fire. And it's a really cool shot that he's walking away from the explosion. But then I'm like, you just sit there and think about it. It's like he put a bomb up that dude's butt.
Yes.
If it wasn't just in like the trunk of the car, which I feel like was probably what it actually was.
Yeah, because you could tell, like looking at the explosion, it looked like it started in the car. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Or it's like, when did you put that in his butt, dude?
It's like, I'm way up there.
It's like, but I guess if he did put it up his butt, he'd know because he'd be uncomfortable and his butt would probably hurt.
Yeah, a little bit.
I just feel like I gotta.
Do you think he lubed it before? He probably had to.
I don't think he did because he's not like doing this for fun.
No, I feel like that would just make it easy. His job easier.
Yeah, that's true. Just
I don't know.
Just cuts to him putting some Vaseline on top of the car. That would have been pretty good.
Oh gosh.
So Christopher Walken, I did not expect him to show up in this movie, and he just like, hey, I'm just like the fun best friend.
Yeah.
A cool little fact about him. He took this role. He was actually supposed to be the main bad guy. But he was like, no, let me be his friend because I'm tired of playing bad guys, because he's been playing a bad guy for a while at this point.
Okay.
I thought
he was really cool because he was just like, he just seemed like a great buddy.
Fun guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He cared about his friend, try to make him laugh,
helped him get a bunch of weapons.
Yeah. It's great. Oh, dude, the lock and loads.
Yeah.
It's just because like he just had a conversation with Lisa and he's like, just kill them all. And then he's like, okay. Then he goes and you see RPGs and stuff, and it's like, let's go.
And you see the charger, the butt plug thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's that going to be?
Yeah. It's like, I did not know I didn't even like grasp what that could have been used for. And then I'm like, okay. But I saw like the RPGs and I'm like, well, there's no way he's going to find a way to use this in this movie. And then I'm like, there's no way he's going to use it around a bunch of birds and some poor old people. I'm like, dang, you did all those things. No, amazing though. Dakota Fanning. I mean,
she's
precious.
She's adorable, and she kills it.
Yeah, she's kind of great in everything that she's a little kid in. We've done Signs.
Mm-hmm.
This. Oh wait, no, she's not in Signs. It's Contaminated. It's the
Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah, that's that girl that was in Signs. But we've done War of the Worlds and Man on Fire with Dakota Fanning now.
And she's
also great in both. She's kind of the best actor in both of them.
Yeah, she's amazing. And she's also done a lot of really great voice acting for Studio Ghibli movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I can't remember which ones off the top of my head, but yeah.
I can't either.
I do remember looking it up. I was like, dang, Dakota Fanning had a run here. But yeah, she's great. She's just like a little grown adult. She's a little grown up kid.
Yeah, she's always kind of like smart, like smarter than a normal snot nosed little brat. Like she's never the brat. She's always like the smart, witty. And
it's like the scene when they're kind of first together in the car. He's taking her to school, and then she's like trying to talk to him, but he's like, "Look, I'm not your friend." And then he's like, "Don't cry." It's like, "I'm not crying," and then just gets out and gets in the back seat, and it's like, "Oh, she played that so well." Okay, let's see. Let's hop into some factoids. I don't know how I was gonna say it. So most of the scenes between Denzel and Christopher Walken were completely improvised by them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So like the at the dinner scene, like the kiss the wife thing, like that was improvised and stuff like that. Apparently, yeah. And to bring it to Quentin Tarantino a little bit, especially since there's Christopher Walken, Quentin Tarantino, they're in a movie together.
Yeah.
Writer Brian Helgeland, ever how you say that, first saw the original Man on Fire, because this was it had Joe Pesci, the original.
No shit.
When he was renting videos in the late 80s, he walked into the video store where Quentin Tarantino was working and asked what was good. Tarantino recommended Man on Fire. And he's a huge fan of Tony Scott. Like, I know the movie Unstoppable that we did that was directed by Tony Scott because of Quentin Tarantino on a podcast. So
nice.
And it's like, it all comes together. Yeah, so what do you think? You could definitely tell it's the same director, right? Unstoppable, Man on Fire.
Yeah, I think so, because there's a lot of the cutting.
The fucking insane editing.
Yeah, the editing, that's what I meant.
It takes a minute to get used to.
I know, yeah.
Just like it did in Unstoppable. I'm like, oh, we're doing this again?
You get a little dizzy sometimes.
This is like, dude, you could just film a scene. This is such a 2000s thing. It's so annoying.
Yeah, well, I did kind of like how, like, every once in a while they would put up like the keywords, up on the screen.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of disappear in a weird way.
And whenever they do the time thing with the 5 minutes and it's popping up on screen, you just see it ticking. Like, hell yeah, that was pretty cool. But just like the flash and the constant like editing the same scene 50 times, it's like, dude, you can just show me the movie.
What do you think about the music? Is this the same music from Gladiator?
No, I don't know. It was.
It
makes
sounded
sense.
exactly like it.
It used the same production. It's Ridley Scott's production helped him with this. So, oh man, when the fucking kicks in and he's locking, loading, I'm like, I was like, I got to remember to take notes.
But like the parts where the music is like just the vocal.
There's a part that reminded me of his whenever he rubs his hand through the wheat.
Yes, exactly.
Gladiator,
That's what I'm thinking of.
There's a cue where I was like, man, I was like, where did I hear that from? And now that you mentioned Gladiator,
it sounds like the same ass song.
Yeah.
But it's such like a primal energy that song brings.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wasn't mad that it was in here. I just thought it was so similar. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. No, I mean they probably. Oh man, I should have looked up like the composer. It's probably the same composer or something. I'm sure whoever Ridley Scott knows, Tony Scott knows because they're brothers. So Denzel Washington was cast because of a trip to a doctor. He ran into director Tony Scott in the waiting room of a medical office, and the two started chatting. Scott had not seen Washington in person since they worked together on Crimson Tide. We're going to have to do that eventually.
Ooh, yeah.
Scott happened to see Dakota Fanning in I Am Sam the night before, and seeing him made Scott think of using them together.
They're all saying the same pediatrician.
Yeah. Well, there is in LA, there's an actor's doctor. There's like a celebrity doctor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like whenever I listen to the Workaholics podcast that they do, they all have like the same doctor. And they're like, oh yeah, we run into all these celebrities all the time. Just going to the doctor because they're all just waiting in the medical room.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you think that Denzel was there to get something removed from his buttocks?
Yeah. And it's like,
Tony Scott's like, I'm going to use it.
I have an idea. So Denzel Washington complained of feeling bored with acting and thought about maybe not doing it so much anymore before taking on the role as Creasy. Yeah. I don't know what made him about this role, like for Denzel, of like, maybe it was just like a very fun, like, oh, I actually get to have raw emotions in a movie and also get to kick ass in a movie. Yes. Maybe it's like, oh, I don't really get to do both of those like that. Like being sad and like longing for a daughter or whatever.
Or maybe he just saw that sweet outfit he was going to get to wear at the rave scene.
Yeah. Dude, like what? Oh, it's so good. I'm not saying his like giant suit was any better though. I was like, dang, dude, get this fitted a little bit. But hey, a man on fire has no time.
No, hell no.
So Mexico City, right? Originally, this film was supposed to be. The producers wanted this film to take place in Italy, but Italy kind of cleaned up their kidnapping problem. And
yeah, I was thinking about this. Do you think
Mexico City, this was real? Like they actually had a kidnapping problem, and they're like, no, we have to film in Mexico City. And of course, Mexico City actually was grateful that they did because they wanted more like spotlight shine on the fact that, hey, people getting snatched out here, man.
Oh, so they were happy about it. I was thinking that maybe.
Yeah, that's why at the very end it has like thank you to like authorities in Mexico City.
Oh, I didn't see that
helping
part.
Us. It's a wonderful city, and it's like
it is a beautiful city.
You haven't shown us anything in this movie that makes me want to visit there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah, my sister, when she lived in Mexico with my mom for a short time, the guy she was dating, his dad got kidnapped.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And he ended up escaping because it was him and 3 other dudes in this cabin out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting free of their, their bindings, and they escaped.
Jesus Christ, dude. It's fucking scary. So like Radha Mitchell had 3 bodyguards protecting her when she was in Mexico for filming. She said that they were hired after her driver was carjacked. And then Mexico City police told Tony Scott that his crew was targeted for kidnapping. Several crew members were robbed at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And Denzel had where's it at? Denzel kept a low profile in Mexico. He was surrounded by bodyguards at all times.
I got robbed in Mexico.
Yeah, dude.
In Puerto Vallarta.
Really? Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that, yeah.
I bought some drugs, did some drugs, got robbed, and gave them the drugs back. But then they offered to call me a cab, and I was like, you know what, guys, I got this one.
You know what, I want y'all to save y'all's money. Maybe don't do this to anybody else while you're here. Like, just, I'll take the L. Everybody else gets free. Let's see. So we're going to talk about one last, actually 2 more facts. So in the original film ending, Creasy does not die in the car on the way to the Voice's house. The 2 meet and chat for a while about the price of human life. Creasy continually looks down at his watch. When the timer reaches 0, Creasy smiles, then the entire house explodes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This implies that Creasy used the rectal bomb that he used on Fuentes. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Fuentes?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Earlier in the film, Tony Scott cut the scene because he felt that it did not fit in with the tone of the film. Because then you have to think, damn, so for a minute there, he had to sit and put something up his butt. And it's just like, that would have been kind of a rad ending.
Him walking across the bridge, like waddling.
Yeah. But this gives him, the ending we get gives him like the kind of like the hero ending.
Yeah.
The wounded warrior.
I was kind of expecting, even though I've seen it before, I was like really hoping that the car he was in would explode at least.
Killed the brother and everybody.
Yeah, that would have been great. But then they probably would have gone after, well, no, not if they're
Let's
dead.
be real. The ending we got where it cuts to like, Creasy died, blank, blank, blank. And then it just cuts to a quick shot of Daniel getting shot. And it's like, what? All right, actually give me 5 more minutes of this movie so I can see it play out. All right, one last thing. In his commentary for the taking of Pelham 123, screenwriter Brian Helgeland recounted the filming of a mortal wounded Creasy floating in the pool. It was shot at the 1968 Olympic pool in Mexico City. The filming day was very long, with director Tony Scott filming the scene from different angles and using different filming techniques to get the desired effect. Eventually, Denzel expressed how tired he was, and Tony asked for one more take. As Denzel was floating underwater, Tony stripped naked, and as he called cut, dived into the pool next to Denzel as he surfaced, much to Denzel and the crew's amusement.
I gotta say, whoever let a man with a bunch of bullet wounds into the pool should be fired.
Yeah, right.
Because it happened twice.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're back. Yeah, no,
it's like, oh, yeah.
No, leave now, please.
I'm just going to keep swimming in Lisa's pool. Those shots were great, though, where it's like him contemplating, and then it's like, oh, you see him think. And then she shows up underwater, too, in like a dissolve.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah, it's cool. It's a cool visual way to him thinking, like, man, this was a great moment. Wish I didn't fuck it up and she's not dead. Just thought it was very good. All right, man. Let's go, baby. So, the plot of the film. Here we go. This is a part where we discuss the plot of the film, if you're new here. So, there is one kidnapping every 60 minutes in Latin America, and 70% of the victims do not survive. Holy shit.
That's quite a few.
I will never go now. I'm just never going. I'm staying in my house for the rest of my life. Never think about getting kidnapped.
No, you
Out
don't.
of all crimes, I never think like I'm going to get kidnapped for ransom. Why would you kidnap me for ransom? We have no money.
Yeah, that's the only thing. You got to have.
That's why I'm safe. Like somebody's, we want his PS5.
Oh, man. It's rough.
We get the wild, choppy scene of someone getting kidnapped, and the whole process takes place of like him getting kidnapped, ransom, blah, blah, blah. Everything we're about to see, what happens here. Except they cut his ear off.
Yeah.
That's rough stuff. It's like, hey, take like a toenail or something, man.
Oh, man,
like
pulling it off with pliers.
Well, I'd rather have my ear.
Oh.
Or I don't know, just shave my hair and be like, here's his hair. Say, okay. Or just let me talk to him. I don't know. So former CIA, SAD, and SOG officer, whatever all those is, John W. Creasy, played by Denzel, comes to Mexico to visit his old friend Paul Rayburn, played by Christopher Walken, who runs a security firm in Mexico. He's at like this party, right? And there's like, I don't know. His wife kind of walks by, and Christopher Walken's like, "Obey me, and I will love you." And he's like, "Is that how it works?" That's how it works here. I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Creasy asks if God will forgive them for what they have done, and it's like, what have they done? We'll find out soon.
Stuff.
Yeah, but pretty rad stuff on TV though. We meet Jordan and Samuel. Samuel's like kidnapping his attorney, and they're talking about his daughter Lupita Ramos, but they call her Pita, played by Dakota Fanning. Jordan is played by Mickey Rourke.
Oh, really?
Apparently, Mickey Rourke and Denzel did not get along on set. So says everybody that ever worked with Mickey Rourke. At this point. So I think he was in his drug-fueled days at this point. Or maybe he just came out of it. I can't remember.
Yeah.
He got all that plastic surgery. He got a big old face and everything. But
I'd like a face enhancement.
Yeah.
Enlargement.
I mean, if you look at old pictures of him, it's like, what the hell happened here? Guess maybe just drug use. I don't know. But so they're talking about the fact that Pita requires a bodyguard for her kidnapping insurance policy to take effect. Damn, that's crazy that's such a thing that you have to have.
Kidnapping insurance?
Yeah. If it happens every hour.
Yeah.
I mean, geez. Rayburn, back to Rayburn and Creasy. Rayburn convinces him to take a bodyguard position, and he is offered one by Samuel Ramos, Mexico City automaker. But at first, Creasy is very reluctant about it. He's like, I don't know. I was kind of thinking about coming down here to see you and kill myself. So
yeah,
I don't know if I really need a job at the moment.
You're throwing a kink into my plans here.
It's like, well, how about this? They'll give you a room, and it's very dope room that looks out on the city. It'd be a great place to shoot yourself.
Yeah, you can kill yourself in there. It'd be nice.
It'd be way better than just doing it on the side of the street somewhere. And then we meet Lisa Ramos, is Pita's mother. Apparently, she has rejected 5 bodyguard candidates already. Samuel doesn't want to overspend on a bodyguard and wants Creasy hired as he comes relatively cheap due to his drinking problem. Finally, alcoholism helps somebody.
Yeah, just give him a gun. It'll be fine.
And then Creasy meets Lisa and Pita. And essentially Lisa's like, yeah, he's American. I love the guy.
You're hired.
I'm racist. He's American. I mean, I guess at that point, it's like, well, if I get like a Mexican bodyguard, what if he's actually working for somebody and then like it's going to end up kidnapping my kid, I guess?
There's just a little bit of information missing from this.
Yeah.
But it's still fine. But I feel like they probably knew everything about him already.
We had that like 10-page profile on him.
Yeah.
But then Pita like shows him a room, like the room he's going to stay in. We meet Boyd.
The bird.
It's the second Mickey Rourke movie that I know that a bird is named Bird, and it takes place in a movie with Mickey Rourke.
That's probably his idea.
Because Iron Man 2 is, I want my Boyd. One of my favorite lines in all of Marvel Cinematic Universe. Where's my Boyd? So yeah, Lisa selects Creasy. Pita says to Lisa, it's like, I can sense sadness in Creasy. He's a big sad bear.
Oh.
Samuel tells Lisa Pita would love anybody she picked. I'm like, well, yeah, because she's the nicest girl ever.
Yeah, she's really sweet.
Yeah. And then we see Creasy planning a route for Pita to go to school, and he lets the bird fly free. It's a metaphor or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he's caged by his alcoholism.
Oh.
And then he lets it free. And then, because we're going to see later that they talk, that they kind of share a moment looking across from each other in the big house, and the bird's chirping. And then she comes and looks out, and he's like, he's like, you let the bird go? He's like, yeah, I felt like he should be free.
He annoyed the
shit
out of me.
It's like, yeah, that's probably better for him. And it's like, oh, Denzel let the bird free. Pita's letting him free emotionally from his sadness and alcoholism. Okay. Yeah. Metaphor, baby.
His sad bareness.
So Creasy's aloof and keeps Pita at a distance. Even though she tries to talk to him, she tells him there is 4 kidnappings a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, there's one
So
every
she's
60
bad at
minutes,
math.
actually.
Okay.
So there's actually 24 a
She
day.
has been out of school for a while.
Yeah. He drops her off at school where he has to sign her in. There are cops all through the school. He talks to a nun teacher. They kind of talk about the Bible a little bit. And then he essentially says, I'm a sheep that got lost, Madre. It's a metaphor.
Oh, I thought he said that the Bible's not for me or something.
Yeah, but then he just kind of tells her that he's a sheep that's that got lost. But Pita will help him get found. Metaphors, baby. This whole hour is a metaphor. First hour. So Creasy picks her up from school. Creasy, man. What is the name, right? I mean,
yeah.
I just keep wanting to say greasy.
Greasy or crazy.
And sometimes he's saying it. I'm like, I have to relook up to make sure it's not greasy. But he picks her up from school. She keeps trying to talk to him and learn about him. He tells her he is being paid to be her bodyguard, not her friend. She gets mad and moves to the back seat. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I thought she was going to take off running.
Yeah, no,
I think he did too.
He's just like, dude, you're like getting kidnapped today.
And like all the stress from driving in Mexico is real as hell.
Yeah.
The place is insane to drive in.
So that is real. It's just crazy traffic.
It's just wild. Like stop signs are just like a suggestion.
Well, it's like anytime, in like other countries, usually in like kind of the Middle East, you'll watch a movie through it and like the traffic is so insane.
Yes.
It's like, what are you talking about? How does anybody know what to do? Everybody's just honking their horns while driving still.
Yeah.
And there's,
and whenever you stop at a red light, people just run up to your car and they like try to sell you stuff and like try to wash your windows.
Yeah. And it's just like, hey, that will stress me out.
Yeah,
Please don't do that.
It's very stressful.
It's like, ugh.
But then when the light turns green, they get the hell out of the way and you go along on your business.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's not too bad. I mean,
it's not too bad. It's just scary.
But just like, I think because I'm a Virgo, I need everything to just be calm and normal because I need to know that I'm going to make it to one place to another place without being bothered. So Lisa talks to Creasy about his confrontation with Pita. Lisa is going to shadow him the next day, essentially because now Pita is uncomfortable and Lisa's getting uncomfortable. So Creasy starts drinking. Got a wild ass editing, right? I mean, it's all over the place. No idea what's going on most of the time. You just see a gun and a bullet a lot.
Drinking a bunch.
So he decides to try to unalive himself.
Mm-hmm.
And when he tries to do this, the bullet in his gun misfires, giving him a new lease on life. He calls Ray, who tells him that the bullet always tells the truth. Creasy keeps his bullet.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That a bullet can do that.
Yeah. Hey, tells the truth, baby. He says, it is not your time to go.
He's just really happy he didn't die.
No, but I love that in action movies. There's something so macho about it. The bullet tells the truth. Yes. But it's just being told from Christopher Walken. He's just kind of like, hey, I'm having a good life here, man.
Yeah, his life seems kind of nice.
But he's like really sweet. He's like, oh, now I was just up watching TV. You're not bothering me and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know. This movie, the beginning part of this movie just has so many great little subtleties to like the characters. And, it's like you kind of like them all. And it's like, great. Even like the father who soon may not be liked. It's like you see him and he's like kind of sympathetic. You can tell there's a lot on his mind. You'll learn what it is later. But you're like, man, his like auto deal stuff must be like kind of stressful. It's like, I don't know. I just like everybody so far. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I hope nothing bad ever happens.
I really like the people who work at the
like the maids and stuff. Yeah.
They seem really nice.
Yeah, they're so great. So while driving, Pita and Creasy notices a car following him. He writes down the license plate number, and so does Pita. He like has to ask for a pencil. It's like pencil, and grabs it. And then
she picks up on it so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. She's really involved in her own protection.
Yeah. Smart to know.
Smart kid.
She's like, I feel like that's a Dakota Fanning thing in all her movies. It's like she has to always play a kid that notices everything. And then Creasy, who has decided to focus more on his job and bonding with Pita, starts noticing notices Pita's a swimmer and notices that she becomes startled by the starter gun at her swim meets. He begins to coach her. She learns to react to the starter gun, diving into the water without flinching. The gunshot holds no fear.
Yeah,
such a fun scene.
The sound sets you free.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
I just put in my notes, fun, all caps, exclamation marks.
Guns are fun, kid.
Yeah. And then Creasy and Pita bond over homework and even smiles. It's very sweet. They're talking about concubines, which apparently was all ad-libbed by both of the acters.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm like, that was such a random thing.
Can you imagine
ad-lib.
having 1,000 versions of my mom?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
She's like,
good.
Holy shit, you smiled.
Yeah. Denzel's the best, though. There's something about, like, if you just start, I said it in Unstoppable, when he starts smiling and laughing,
all is
there's
right in the world.
So much joy in my heart from it.
Yes.
It's like, hell yeah. They continue training now with like the maids and like the handyman and stuff watching, and she's ready, baby. She's ready to swim. It's like, I hate that, like, I'm kind of going over all that so fast, but like literally this is the part of the movie that really, I don't know, makes you feel what you feel later.
Good.
You're going to feel like the need for revenge, and you're just going to like feel the fire in your veins whenever he's got to start killing people. And it's yes, man. It's so perfectly done at the beginning. So cut to the swim meet, and Pita's teacher comes up to him and tells him today he is her father. And he's like, me?
Oh, the nuns are the swim coaches?
I don't know, dude. I'm assuming it's part of a school event or something.
It's a Catholic school that they do all the positions.
It might just, maybe. It's the same nun as the other one. I'm just assuming that it's probably like a school function meet. So they're probably all there. I don't know. So the swim meet starts and she wins. Creasy is so happy and Pita gives him a big hug.
Yeah, man. She just jumps in his arms.
Yeah, it's like,
happy.
They're best friends. They've known each other for a week.
Now she's going to get kidnapped.
Yeah. So they go out. Well, I'm assuming it's actually probably been like a month or something. Just kind of fast forwarded.
Because her parents are out of town.
Yeah, twice at this point. And
he's just like her guardian.
Yeah. It's like they've already like gone out of town a couple times. So they go out to eat with Rayburn and his wife. Pita gives him a necklace of St. Jude, patron saint of lost causes. Everybody is happy and nothing bad will ever happen.
Nope. I wonder what else she was the saint of, because they have a lot of different things.
Yeah, no, we both listened to the Saints podcast on last podcast on the left, and it's like, holy shit, I kind of want to learn about all of them.
Probably like also the saint of like hair.
Yeah, hair and queefing.
Hey, you're probably not wrong. I don't know, man.
I'm the patron saint of queefs. So now that everything is perfect, everything is happy, and there's nothing bad going to happen, later Creasy is alone in his room. He decides not to drink and instead reads the Bible. And how does God show him gratitude for reading the Bible? We'll find out later.
Oh, man.
No, he's just,
nothing's free, Creasy.
God wants him to make a sacrifice, and he's going to have to. We get a quick scene where Pita asks her father to let her swim more and not do piano lessons, but he is adamant on her playing the piano. Here's what I love about everything to this point, right? The father, as soon as you meet him, he's always kind of like weird, kind of jittery type guy. There's obviously some sort of financial issue. And then he goes to Detroit the first time whenever him and his wife leave. He turns around and gives like a look at her. And it's like, huh. It's like, I wonder what that means. Obviously, it's a kidnapping movie. He's probably, I think at that point, kind of thinking, wow, if like I don't find out how to make money, I'm going to have to get this girl kidnapped. And then they go on their second trip and it's like they come back. And then now all of a sudden he's like, no, you have to take piano. And it's like, I'm assuming the two trips. Oh,
because he had already set up everything.
Well, the two meetings, I'm assuming, did not go well of getting like Ford to come to Mexico City to help him out with his automotive factory or whatever. So now it's like, all right, well, my two options were gone. So now this is my backup plan. And it's like, well, she's going to get kidnapped at the piano lesson. I don't know. It's just fun to kind of like point out like, hey, this is how the movie subtly showed you everything you need to know in a very subtle way, and information was there. You just had to try to find it.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Which really helps when you have to write everything down in your notes. It's kind of my favorite part of doing this podcast. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm smart at movies now. Our audience may think otherwise. I don't know. So Creasy takes her to a lesson and tells her to burp every few minutes so the teacher won't take her on. I love it. It's just like we see her burp. She had to have someone burp for her.
Oh, really?
Because she was incapable of burping, apparently, as a little kid.
The burp sounded very guttural and like way too deep for a little...
very fake.
Dakota Fanning.
And then she gives him a flower. Just a kiss of death right there. Good job. And he puts it in his shirt. So while waiting for
stops the bullet.
Yeah. I thought whenever he got shot in the chest towards the end, I was like, that diary is going to be there and it's going to stop the bullet. And it was not the case.
And he just decided he didn't need a bulletproof vest.
Yeah. And he decided that bullets don't hurt him until the very end of the movie. So while waiting for Pita outside of her piano lesson, he plays with the dog, Sam, and just lets it run around and it starts attacking another dog. And this is why you need to keep your dogs on leashes, people. It is unsafe no matter what dog you think you got. Dogs are not normal humans. They have their own brains and they're cuckoo crazy because they're not super smart dogs. So please keep them on a leash. Just saying that because, dude, it's because, I'd like to, we've taken walks with Snake around our area here. Like every time we try to do it, there's like a dog that's ready to run up to us. And I'm like, that dog looks scary. We're going back. It's like, just, I don't know.
It's
annoying.
It's not safe.
But anyways, Creasy notices a car with 2 men circling the area and 2 federal police officers block the street. I'm sure this is just like a parade's about to come by or something. As Pita emerges, he yells at her to run, but she freezes. The car pulls up and the men attempt to grab Pita, but he fires the gun in the air, causing her to run away.
She's ready to go.
She did flinch though. She might have gotten away.
Well, until he shot the gun and she's like, pew.
Yeah.
The sound sets you free.
So Creasy attempts to Creasy. Oh God, such an annoying name to say a lot. He attempts to fend off the attackers, killing 3 and wounding a 4th, but is critically wounded himself. He takes multiple bullets to his front.
Yeah, he gets shot twice in the chest.
It doesn't hurt him that much. Don't worry. He gets it a lot in this movie.
It kind of just starts the timer.
Yeah, and he's kind of in and out of the hospital pretty fast after getting shot like 4 times.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, but we'll get to it in a second.
So Pita runs back to him, but is then abducted by remaining kidnappers because he's like, run. She's like, I can't. The police arrest Creasy for killing police officers on duty and also for being involved in the kidnapping of Lupita. At the press conference, Mariana, a reporter, presses the chief of police on why the 2 dead officers were actually off duty.
Yep.
Boom, boom, boom. And then what's his name? Miguel.
Miguel
Monzo or something like that. Monzo?
Sure.
Whatever. Is like, it's like we all know that we also know that they're also corrupt police officers.
Yes.
Everybody kind of laughs.
It's kind of a huge problem.
This is funny to us. And I'm like, it's not, dude.
Those silly cops.
Somebody was kidnapped. Then we get shots at Samuel and Lisa's house of them all worried and police are there. Jordan tries to tell Samuel everything will be all right. Head of kidnapping says they will help, but Jordan says they won't be needed, but they have high authority telling them that they have to be involved. Samuel seems very off at this moment.
Yeah. He doesn't seem that worried. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great. There's so much in this one scene because it's Lieutenant, what's his name? Fuentes. It's Lieutenant Fuentes, who is later somebody that Denzel has to deal with.
Yeah.
But so you have like 2 people that are involved with the kidnapping on different spectrums because the lieutenant is a part of it.
Officially.
Because, he's corrupt and he's a part of the kidnapping plot and stuff. And then you got the other guys who are also a part of the kidnapping plot.
Oh, God.
Samuel gets a call from the kidnappers about a ransom drop. It's very convoluted, a lot to say.
Yeah.
Pita's ransom drop arranged by the...
And why is the dad shirtless when he takes the money?
Oh, because they don't want him to wear shirts, so there's no wires or guns or anything. Because it showed it earlier at the very beginning. There's a guy who's just like waving his shirt out of his car and stuff like that. But at Pita's ransom drop arranged by the federal police fails when the kidnappers are ambushed by rival kidnappers. The kidnappers' leader, The Voice, played by Robert Sosa, is enraged at his nephew's death during the botched drop. Holding the family responsible, he informs Pita's mother, Lisa, that Pita will be lost to her and Samuel forever as retribution.
Oh, God, that sucks.
Didn't say they were going to kill him. So while recovering from his injuries, AFI agent Miguel Manzano has Creasy relocated to a veterinarian clinic to protect him from the corrupt police. When he regains consciousness, Rayburn tells Creasy that Pita was murdered.
Damn.
Bum, bum, bum. He is questioned by Manzano, but refuses to divulge any information. But you can see it in his eyes as he's showing pictures of some of the people. Yeah. He sees the driver and he's like, I'm going to fuck him up.
He's just building his list.
This guy's gonna die.
Does Rayburn get him out of the hospital for his safety, or is like, why didn't they help his bullet wounds?
No, I think he's just like, it's time to get out. It's like probably because I think it's been like a week or so.
He's like, I'm ready to kill everyone now.
Yeah,
I can go.
Yeah, it's like it's time to go. Well, I think Rayburn's like, all right, time for you to get out of here, right? And he's like, no. Rayburn takes him out of the hospital, and they go to the crime scene. He then meets reporter Mariana Garcia Guerrero. I
thought she was with the FBI or something.
I don't know. Is she not? No, she's a reporter. Yeah, she's definitely a reporter.
Okay.
Yeah. Played by Rachel Ticotin? I don't know. She's the girl in Total Recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Also, awesome movie we will do this year because I don't know. We need to do. I just want to do it. I've been thinking about it a lot.
And you get to see the 3 boob chick.
Yeah, 3 boob chick, dude.
Yay.
And Marina, who offers to help him investigate the kidnapping and expose the criminal and police nexus. Creasy uses this to wage war on the kidnapping ring and police corruption responsible for Pita's apparent death. You could say he's a man on fire. So he goes back to Samuel and Lisa's house. Him and Lisa have an heartfelt moment. They look like they're going to have sex, potentially. No, wait, not yet. That was before. Then Creasy says he's going to kill them. Lisa says, kill them all.
Kill them all.
Music kicks in. And it's like this kind of like new metal sounding like music. It's like,
hell yeah. It's really effective.
And it's like, let's fucking go. Creasy locks and fucking loads, baby. Because he's a man on fire. He tracks down, interrogates. So he tracks down the first guy, the getaway driver. He interrogates him by cutting his fingers off if he doesn't answer. It's great. Cuts like 3 of them off. And like the guy's like, he constantly says, I'm just a professional. Yeah. Pretends he doesn't know anything, but then slowly gives off a little more information.
It was funny though, like, because before he starts cutting off his fingers, he like Creasy's outside, and then it shows the driver sitting at the wheel, and he's naked almost. Yeah. And he's just been beat to hell. Yeah.
And you see a bunch of like stray dogs, right? There's like 4 or 5 dogs. Like, these dogs gonna eat this man.
Well, I think they're just like a dump or something. But like, yeah. They didn't show us the part where he beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah. And it's like a part of me.
And he's bleeding a lot from somewhere.
Yeah. And essentially what he learns is that the driver was ordered by the voice to do the pickup or, to kidnap. And that he got a lot of his information from the Guardians, which we'll see in the next scene. And then he just essentially... Oh, also, I love when he cuts his finger off. He like puts the lighter...
The cigarette lighter
on his fingers. And then
like, I'm going to stop the bleeding with this.
Yeah. Then he eventually cuts his ear off.
And then like when he cuts the first finger off, you see like a squirt of blood go on the windshield.
It's so good.
That's great.
And then I love, like, after that, he starts, like, covering the hand with a towel after he does it. And then, he cuts the ear off. Is there anything else that he does in that one that's pretty cool?
I don't know, but I'm loving every second of it while it's happening.
Yeah, I know. And at first, I was like, oh, I kind of feel bad. And I was like, fuck, he's going to get Pita. He's got to get Pita. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
So.
It's like fucking dog food.
Yeah. And then we cut to the car falling into the middle of a baseball game and exploding because he killed him.
Yeah, I thought that's the way he was gonna kill him.
Yeah, but he shoots him after giving him a cigarette. Because he's not that bad of a guy. Let him have a puff of a cigarette.
Well, even I think the guy knew he was gonna die.
Yeah.
He's like, one last smoke.
So he also learns that the next person he's going after, who's the middleman called Jersey Boy, is a proprietor of a rave or whatever. Which he then goes and finds the middleman.
I really like this sniveling piece of shit. Like, he plays this character really well.
Yeah. Yeah, I love when he starts talking English and there's like, oh, I'm from Jersey too. But yeah, so he goes to find the middleman or Jersey Boy, proprietor of the rave in Neza, who was known to the getaway driver as the Guardian. Creasy gets an ATM card from the Jersey Boy, which is given to him by the voice and is used to withdraw $200 per week for expenses. He also reveals that a crooked cop, Fuentes, stole the money at the drop. But yeah, I love this whole scene with it because you got the one guy that lets him in, and he's all dressed ridiculously. He's hiding a giant sawed-off shotgun in his like pants, essentially, and he kills the one guy. And he's like talking Spanish to Jersey Boy, and Jersey like, "Hey, I actually speak English. I'm from Jersey. Hey, I'm from Jersey. Gym 10 laundry. Am I right? DTF." And then there's like this other third guardian, because they're all called guardian. And in the credits, it's you got Jersey Boy. The guy he kills immediately is Guardian 2, and Guardian 3 is the girl.
Oh, okay. I love how he asks him a question, he doesn't know the answer, and then he blows his fucking foot off.
Yeah, I was like, is he shooting his foot or the floor? I can't tell. I just assumed it was his foot.
Yes.
And he eventually gets him to spill all the information I just said.
Awesome.
And then he kills Jersey Boy. He talks to the woman who also worked with him. She gives him false hope when she says the girl is still there. He sees that it's a different kidnapped girl, though. He then takes the girl and the adult girl and gets them out of there after essentially catching the whole place on fire. Yes. And then goes out, starts shooting his gun at this rave, and everybody's like, yeah! Oh, so you want us out, but we ain't done partying. We're going to dance our way out of here.
There's Yosemite Sam.
and then they go out of the rave, and they're all still kind of dancing on the street, and it explodes, and everybody's like, yeah, this is awesome. Man. It's freaking lawless out here in Mexico City.
It's a great party, but like now you don't have anywhere to rave.
Yeah, it's like these people, they'll just take ecstasy out on the street and start dancing.
Just wait till the fire goes down and they'll go back in.
So he calls Marina to give her the kidnapped child. Then he gives her the ATM card he got. Manzano talks to Rayburn. Rayburn tells him Pita showed Casey he was able to live again.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes it so sad. But then we get the great quote, Creasy's art is death.
Yeah.
He's about to paint his masterpiece.
Hell yeah. Oh, Christopher Walken.
I'm not going to lie. That line gave me chills watching it.
A lot of people are about to die.
I was just like, holy shit, what a good line.
Fucking Denzel covered in blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creasy decides to go. He's going after Lieutenant Victor Fuentes, a lieutenant in the anti-kidnapping division of the Federal Judicial Police and the head of the criminal law Hermandad?
Yeah.
La Hermandad?
Or La Hermanda.
Yeah, La Hermandad.
I don't know.
Dude, I can't fucking talk today. Jeez. And he's also the one that coordinated the drop from earlier in the movie with Samuel and Lisa. He goes to an old couple's house so that he can fire an RPG at Fuentes' bodyguards. He successfully takes care of all of them, leaving only Fuentes, who he drives off with.
That was fucking sick.
Yeah. Yeah, because he shoots them and he doesn't kill all of them. He just comes out in his little suit and just starts shooting everybody. And like, he's in this movie becomes a Western at this point. It's great. It reminds me of something from the Man with No Name trilogy. The Clint Eastwood movies.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen those.
You haven't seen any of them?
I don't know.
Holy crap. Let's start doing the trilogy.
Hell yeah, we should.
Okay, that starts this year. I'm so excited. Then we cut to him. He has Fuentes tied to a car, bent over the trunk, and it's like, what the hell are we about to watch here? In like broad daylight, there's helicopters over him searching for the lieutenant. Yeah, and it's like the same place that the drop happened earlier in the film.
Oh yeah. And it shows like that the bags were full of just paper, like magazines.
Yeah. So he tells him he has C4 shoved up his butt and has 5 minutes to tell him all the information. And you like get the clock on the screen. The guy's not wanting to answer, and Denzel's just like, 4 minutes, 50 seconds.
I
3
wish
minutes now.
You had more time.
Oh, yes. Love it. So
the guy's like, hey, come on, man.
Hey,
let's chill out for a
what's up? So from Fuentes, Creasy learns most of the ransom money had been stolen before the ambush at the drop, and that Jordan, Samuel's lawyer, who suggested kidnapping insurance, loaded the money into Samuel's drop because Fuentes only got like 2.5 million out of the possible 10, and he was supposed to get half.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So everybody's just getting screwed over all the way down the chain.
Just pretty much everybody is trying to screw each other over this kidnapping money, crime. And it's pretty funny. So after he gets his information,
I can't imagine that the dad ever thought that this would work out.
Yeah,
like go smoothly.
It's like, dude, there's too many corrupt people in this little city here.
You live here. You should know this.
Can't walk outside without having a bodyguard at this point. So After he gets his information, he walks away with this explosion behind him, and it's rad.
Fuck yeah.
And like right before, like you said earlier, the guy's like, Denzel, I wish you had more time. And just walks away with an explosion.
Fuck yeah.
And I love it because whenever we do our movie next week, I'm going to be able to come back to this little part here.
Oh, nice. More butt stuff.
There is potentially butt stuff. Stay tuned to the end of the podcast to see what movie we're talking about. So, at Jordan.
This has been butt stuff with Jesse and Jason.
Oh, that would be a great, like, if we were both gay, that'd be a great, that would be a great podcast title for us. So, at Jordan's home, Creasy discovers that he is already dead. His head's cut off and his body's in a pool. And finds a fax with bank account information leading to Samuel. Samuel, you son of a bitch. Creasy gives the bank account information to Marina. Creasy decides to confront Samuel and Lisa. Samuel explains that Jordan recommended arranging a kidnapping so he could claim the insurance payout and pay the debts his father had left him alongside a ruined auto empire. So out of 7.5 million stolen, Jordan kept 2.5 and gave 5.5 to Samuel.
Yeah, I feel like there's, you could just, being poor is not that bad. I mean,
here's what I say. I have an idea. How about you hire some other person that isn't involved with all these like corrupt people to pretend to kidnap your daughter and then
just be cool about it.
Be cool about it, right? Instead of going to like gangs and stuff to do it.
Yeah, the professionals.
Yeah. Sheesh. They were promised Pita would be unharmed. She was just going to be watching cartoons for 2 days. When the drop went bad, Samuel blamed Jordan for Pita's apparent death, killing him in a rage. So Samuel's the one that killed Jordan.
Did you see the part whenever they show Pita, she's locked in a cell and she's got the headphones on, they're just blasting like hard rock in her, or like metal or something in her headphones? It might have been like an extended version I saw a long time ago.
Oh, really? It might have been. Or it could have cut to it for like 1 second. And it's like,
that happens a lot.
What did I see? Because there's a lot of Pita in this movie for there to be almost no Pita until the end of the movie. Man, I could go for a Pita right now.
I know, I'm so hungry.
God, my stomach's growling. So Lisa, unaware of Samuel's involvement, angrily tells Creasy to kill him or she will.
Fuck
Hell yeah, Lisa. Yes. Let's go. He leaves Samuel a gun and the bullet he previously intended to commit suicide with that he pulls out of Pita's diary. Remorseful, Samuel loads the gun and shoots himself in the head.
I feel like just to be safe, he could have put like another bullet that works in there just in case.
It's like, oh, by the way, here's a spare bullet if this one doesn't work, okay?
It didn't work for me.
I got them mixed up. I put them both in Pita's diary.
Just got bullets everywhere, like in his pockets and shit.
She, at the end of the movie, hands Pita her diary back. She opens it up, bullets are just flying out of it. It's like, okay, Creasy, I completely missed what happened while I was kidnapped, but something.
Great bodyguard. Yeah. Horrible parent.
Horrible with bullets. So Creasy learns from Marina the ATM card he recovered earlier is linked to a man living on the edge of city. Manzano's people, acting on Marina's information, infiltrate his home, finding a photo of the voice. And the way they did this was they were given what, cholera vaccinations?
Oh, okay.
Or something like that. And they're able to set up a bunch of cameras in there. It's like, nice. Why didn't you do that in the first place? So she runs a story in the newspaper revealing the ringleader is Daniel Sanchez. She tells Creasy the ATM card belongs to Daniel's wife, Maria Rosa Sanchez, at the address of Daniel's brother, Aurelio.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we got all the information. It's time for the ending. So Creasy breaks into Aurelio's, taking him prisoner despite being shot in the chest in the process. He learns that the voice is named Daniel.
Dan.
He then calls Daniel. He essentially, so when they get there, he like has this kid lead him up to the top whenever he breaks in, because he followed Aurelio from the street.
Yeah.
And like there's a bunch of kids in there, and apparently Daniel's wife or ex-wife, we'll soon learn, is pregnant. And essentially she's like, get out. And like the only way that they can contact Daniel is by using a beeper. Which are like, oh, I didn't.
Nice. Still got them.
Yeah, they still got them back then. And then they have to go upstairs to get signal and stuff. So he then calls Daniel, threatening to kill his family unless he turns himself in.
Yeah,
going
he blows
as far
off his fingers.
As shooting Aurelio's fingers.
Fuck yeah.
And then like after he does that, the wife of Daniel goes and like in this barrel just pulls out like a huge plastic bag of money and just throws it down. I'm like, damn, dude.
Yeah, it was so great. He's like, your brother wants to talk to you. Kaboom.
Yeah. You hear about that? And of course they keep both of them keep ending the phone call so that they can't track where the phone's coming from.
Okay, that makes sense.
Creasy wants to take care of this himself. Then, however, Daniel reveals that Pita is still alive.
Yeah, that
didn't see that twist happening. I did. And offers to trade her for his brother and Creasy's life.
Life for a life.
Creasy agrees. So Creasy tells Lisa that Pita is alive, and he tells her where the meeting is. So arriving at the overpass meeting place and seeing he meets Lisa there. He's like, all right, here's what's gonna happen. I gotta go over there and I gotta walk to him. Pita's gonna be let out. And if this motherfucker moves, blow his head off. Talking about Aurelio in the car. So he crosses it on foot, and he's got shot in the chest earlier. And
he's bleeding out.
Yeah, and he's bleeding out. He's been just like, it's been like 5 hours. He's got a hole in his chest and he's still doing fine. Very little blood that we see, which is wild. He meets her in the middle of this overpass and they give a hug. They say goodbye. And she says she loves him, and he says he loves her back.
I know, and I'm just crying.
I was blown away by the fact that I was like, shit, dude, I'm so invested in this. And I'm like getting sad because like, it's yay, they're together. Getting sad that, like Pita's going to take this hard because it's like, oh, I don't get to hang out with him. And eventually she's going to figure out he sacrificed himself for her. And then getting sad that, man, Creasy ain't going to get to see her again, not to be a bodyguard. And then I'm like, dang, they actually probably could have just been a family themselves because he was probably going to marry Lisa.
She's like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going home too.
Yeah. Oh, bro, so good. And then just seeing like Denzel cry makes me want to cry. It's like seeing your dad cry. It's like, no.
He is our dad. It's our movie dad.
Denzel's my daddy. But Pita runs to Lisa and they all hug and it's happy. Aurelio gets to go. Creasy and Aurelio get into Daniel's car, but Creasy succumbs to his wounds in transit, dying like a hero.
Yeah, he's playing the Gladiator music.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it cuts to like, it gives like his like headstone essentially, like his date of birth and date of death.
Yeah.
Just randomly. And then you're like, oh, there's probably going to be a little bit more after this. Then it cuts to Manzano, tracks Daniel down and kills him in just like a 5-second scene here and says that they can claim that Daniel died during the arrest. But it's, he just went there to kill him. Yeah. Nothing else. Weird way to end the movie.
Yeah, I felt like
it took all the steam out of the end.
Yeah, if he would have just stopped with him dying,
didn't need it.
Would have been fine.
Or just like cut to a scene, or which they didn't do it as much, and then like just a mid-credits roll, right?
Sure.
Like after you get the main characters in, like cut to it, this guy just coming in and like confronting him and killing him.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like one hoorah,
Yeah, because it doesn't really hit the same as like something like at the end of The Departed, when he comes in and at the very end and kills him. Because you're like, oh shit.
Fucking good. And it's like, hell yeah, it's angry ass Mark Wahlberg who's just been yelling at Matt Damon and Leonardo DiCaprio the whole time. Ooh, we should do The Departed this year too.
Yeah.
It's another long movie. But yeah, that's Man on Fire, man.
I love this.
And I'm on fire.
I'm on fire for this movie.
Yeah, this is great. It just I just need to watch every single Tony Scott movie. I just need to own them. I actually bought this on Amazon Prime because it was $3.99 to rent.
$4.99 to buy.
Did you buy it or did you just rent it?
I watched it on Tubi. It was free. Oh. With ads.
I did not know it. Well, I'm glad. I did not want to sit through. I didn't want to make this movie 5 hours long. Well,
it was fun. Ads. It was fine for me because I was like cleaning the kitchen and watching it while I was cleaning. So every time the commercials would come on, I'd be able to like do some other stuff.
Yeah.
It worked out.
But we're gonna go to our categories. The first category is the good, the bad, the ugly, the fine. It's where we discuss the good of the movie, something we like, the bad, something we didn't like, the ugly, something didn't age well, the fine, something that did age well. All right, what's your good?
My good is all the emotion, the emotional shit from Denzel. Like,
it really resonates.
Good. It really does resonate.
It's like you're immediately like, I love these people. I love these characters. I did not expect going into this to like anybody other than Denzel, and maybe if it has a cool villain.
Yeah, I didn't really care for the mom that much, but like it didn't really matter. She wasn't in the movie very much.
It was just mainly for her. Well, I'll get to it in the matter. But it's this classic. We have to have the mom in the movie. Yeah. We're not going to give her anything to do. But I do love her like outbursts. Like whenever they find out Pita's dead, she's like, "Everybody get the fuck!" She just like slapping everybody. I love like the amount of time she slapped people in this movie. I was like, "Yeah, Lisa,"
because that's how you're supposed to react when your daughter gets kidnapped.
Yeah,
but like that, and like even when he's getting revenge, God, it feels so good. And when the
best.
Denzel and Dakota Fanning are doing their stuff, you're like, man, this feels great. I don't know. It's just fun.
No, you're right. It's perfect. That's essentially what I had. I had, well, obviously Denzel, Dakota Fanning, Tony Scott. It's great. I didn't expect those three to make a movie together and it'd be this fucking rad, right? I mean, I should. Tony Scott's great. Denzel's great. Dakota Fanning has been great and everything. I don't know. It's not like a movie I hear people talk about a lot. I've heard people bring it up being like a fun, cool movie, but I didn't realize that I was going to love the movie, you know? I assumed that you recommended it. I was like, oh, if he's recommending the movie, it's got to be pretty good.
Oh, thanks.
It was something that you were like, we should do Man on Fire. And I was like, holy shit, okay. He's like really wants to do it. It's got to be pretty good. And then also the build-up and release, like you were talking about. Because the build-up's so fun. It's so happy and the release is so god dang necessary. So I'll do my bad since we kind of talked about it a little bit. I put Lisa. What is her accent? Where is she from? What is this? And it's not the actress's fault. All right. I mean, maybe the accent is, but it's just typical.
Somebody should have been keeping tabs on this accent.
It's just typical, like, man has to go do something, woman just has to come in and cry a lot.
Maybe there's like a big break between scenes that she was in, and she's like, oh shit, what accent did I use last time?
Well, apparently her other scenes were getting railed by the two men in the movie, so not together, but separately.
Yeah, I'm glad they took that out.
But I mean, I liked her character when she was like smacking the shit out of people. I was like, hell yeah, we need to show moms who are upset in movies doing that more.
Yeah, hell yeah, mad mamas.
Yeah. So like I liked some of the stuff her character did. It's just like I did not understand the accent. Yeah. It was tripping me out because sometimes it just sounded a little British.
She didn't need to have one.
Yeah, she just talked normal. Wherever accent she wanted. I guess how she talked, Dakota Fanning was going to have to talk.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
you inherit
I don't know.
your accent from your parents.
Well, like hearing your mom talk a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My bad was like the kidnapping stuff sucks ass. That's a thing. But like my mom who lives in Mexico, if we ever bring up the fact that we're scared to take our kids there because of all the kidnapping, she gets real upset about it and defends Mexico real hard.
Yeah.
I'm just like, still gotta be worried about it.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie.
Yeah. It's like, just come here, Mom. We'll pay for you to fly up here. Yeah. Yeah, that is bad. Kidnapping bad.
Yeah, man.
So for the ugly, mine is pretty much, I already kind of talked about it in the movie, the editing, the style. And it's a Tony Scott thing.
It's a bit nauseating at some points.
I just feel like his 2000 movies are so obnoxious with it. So like when I think about his other movies, I'm like, they were kind of wildly edited.
Yeah.
But like the shakiness, like the ramping up speed, slowing down the speed. And I'm just like, am I on a boat? Jeez Louise. I'm on a boat. But this was something that was happening in like 2000s movies. Like I said, during Unstoppable. Yeah. It happened during Saw. I mean,
like Traffic.
Yeah.
It happened a lot in that one. Is that another Tony Scott movie? I don't know.
I don't think so.
It happens quite a bit.
Was that Soderbergh? Tell me you're ugly while I look that up.
My ugly. There's not really a whole lot. Like, I feel like they did pretty good. I don't know. My ugly, I think, would be that is if Dakota Fanning's dad is supposed to be her dad, like her real father.
In fact,
like,
it was a very white little girl.
Yeah, they're pretty white.
With a mixed family.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's not really an ugly thing. It's just kind of a weird thing that bothered me a little bit.
Yeah, it's just like, how does this kid fit into this? Is it just it takes you out of the movie for a moment to be like, so was this Lisa's daughter before Samuel, or
that's what it kind of seems like.
Yeah. And not explaining it kind of makes it where it's like, oh, it took you out of the movie for just like a second.
Sure.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see how that. Yeah. So The Fine. I put Tony Scott, one of the best action directors that we did not appreciate enough while he was still here.
Yeah,
Same thing from Unstoppable that I said.
Yeah, it's just such a fun ass movie.
Yeah, I mean, the guy knows how to make an action flick, whether it's a Man on Fire or an Unstoppable Train or some Top Guns. All right, what do you got for The Fine?
The Fine. I don't know, man. I think Dakota Fanning. I hope she does a lot. I mean, she's a lot older now, and you don't really see her a lot.
I think she's in The Watchers, which was directed by, M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. It's on Max. But the last thing I saw her in was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's movie.
Okay,
she's at the ranch. Have you seen that yet?
No, but like I really
watch it. It's on stuff.
I think I really would like to see like her doing more roles because like child actors have a really hard time growing up out of their littleness.
I definitely I think I can't remember if I remember reading it or not, but I feel like she had a hard time after
because once you're not a little cute baby anymore, like they kind of throw you out with the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing.
It's like, I need to read up about her, especially next time we do a movie with her. Just be like, what was like her history of growing up as a child?
Let's get her on the pod.
Yeah. Dakota Fanning, if you're listening. All right. We're going to hit our next and last category called Double Feature. What is a movie, Jason, that you think goes well with Man on Fire?
Well, if you just can't get enough of girls getting kidnapped, watch Taken.
Yeah.
I'd like to watch it back to back just to compare which director did it better.
Yeah.
And because I from what I remember of Taken, it was cool, but it was I think Man on Fire does it better.
When I watched Taken for the first time, I decided I never wanted to travel again.
The
action in Taken was really fun. And of course, Liam Neeson's just like, I don't know, before he started doing all these action movies as an old man, he was just regarded as a really good actor.
Yeah.
Theater actor, Shakespearean type stuff. I don't know. So my movie that I picked is a movie that I watched for the first time because Natalie told me I had to watch it. It's a Kurt Russell movie. It's called Breakdown.
That's cool. I've never seen it.
A man searches for his missing wife after his car breaks down in the middle of the desert, and she takes a ride to like the nearest store with a truck driver.
And never returns.
Boom, boom, boom.
Dang. That sounds cool as hell.
It's so fun. It's stressful and fun. Kurt Russell's great. He's pissed the hell off.
I love
You'll
Kurt
see
Russell.
A bunch of actors in this movie that you'll be like, oh, I haven't thought of them in a while. Like JT Walsh.
Oh, wow.
MC Gainey. He's in Lost. Of course. Yeah. There's just a few people you see like, oh, I haven't seen them in a while. So much fun.
Oh, yeah.
So stressful. And this is kind of like, it makes you like, I never really thought about the crime world in Mexico City, right?
Yeah.
This will make you never thought about the crime world of truckers.
Oh, man, they're awful.
Yeah, I know. The last podcast episode about
yes, they're so scary.
Where they interviewed a guy that went along with
I have two uncles that are truck drivers, and they are scary.
Really? The truck drivers I know, which is mainly through Natalie, they're all like they're really good people.
Yeah, I mean, my uncles are fine.
Yeah.
They're just creepy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Not all truck drivers are creepy, Jason.
My uncle Richard open mouth kissed my wife on our wedding night after we got married.
Put him in jail.
And she was like, ew, 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 ew.
It's like, this is not what I wanted. Way to completely ruin this night for us. Because that's the only thing
you'll now I can't kiss her anymore.
Yeah. Well, I guess she's yours now. Thanks, Uncle.
That's how this works.
It's like, I got another wife.
He clubbed her in the head and drug her out the door.
Yeah. Then you saw fire for the first time. What is this? That's our episode on Man on Fire, baby. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure you join us next week we're going to go on a little more tame movie, as in it's not as serious and it's really funny and it's one of my favorite comedies. The Other Guy, starring Mark Wahlberg, and Will Ferrell, baby. Love this movie.
Hell yeah.
It's so fun and hip.
Yeah,
and just
can't wait.
Mark Wahlberg is so good in this movie.
So charismatic.
It's like after The Departed, everybody's like, we need him to yell a lot. And that's what he did for the rest of his career. Except now he doesn't. He just says boring movies now. So make sure you join us for The Other Guys. Love this movie. If you don't love this movie, still listen, but like get better taste. So yeah. And if you want to contact us, go into our description where we have a link at the top that you can click and send us a text message, or go to the bottom where you can go to we recommend at mailbag. All right. We recommend mailbag at gmail.com. Yeah. Get our linktree/we recommend podcast. It's the quickest way to get to our social medias. And you can just be like, yo, what up? And then follow us. And yeah, that stuff. And thank you to Joey Prosser for our intro and outro music. You can follow him on X at Mr. Joey Prosser. And dang it, this has been the We Recommend podcast. I'm Jesse.
I'm Jason.
A man can be an artist in anything, food, whatever. It depends how good he is at it. Our art is podcast, and we just painted our masterpiece. Yeah. Bye.